Good day everyone. Before I start, I want to introduce myself first. I am Nazal Siparani from BIT4A FSM. So today I will discuss to you about the material management. So all business that has a manufacturing operation typically manage inbound and outbound of all of the physical assets of the organization as well as the service a business offers. These goods and services are the wealth is measured by the amount of goods and services produced by the business, and it's also based on the country where business is located at. Manufacturing business are engaged in converting raw materials to a form that is a far more value and used to the consumer than the original raw materials. So, material management is the most important in a business, lalo na kung magtatayo ka pa lang ng isang business mo. So, ito yung pinaka number 1 na kailangan mo, material management. Next. So, pag sinabi natin material management, it is the planning, directing, controlling, and coordinating those activities which are concerned with materials and inventory requirements from the point of their inception to their introduction into the manufacturing process. And also, when you say material management, it is also important function of an organization covering various aspects of input process. It deals with raw materials, procurement of machines, and other equipments necessary for the production. And materials cost is probably the most important element of cost. In this case, certain industries like cement, sugar, chemicals, iron, and steel, and etc. The materials cost from very significant portion of the overall cost of production. So, sa material management, dito is magkakaroon ka rin ng gagastusin pag kailangan mo ng material management, lalo na sa isang business mo. Next. Meron na objectives ang material management. Una is material selection, correct specification of material and components of determine, and also the material requirement and agreement with sales program are assessed. So, magkakaroon ka ng material selection. Dito papasok yung mga components niya, yung mga requirements ng isang material mo. Next is low operating cost. It should endeavor to keep the operating cost low and increase the profits without making any concession in the quality. Dito papasok naman yung pag-ooperate ng cost mo, kung bababa siya or tataas. Next is the safety of materials. Of course, kailangan ng safety ng materials mo. With the true management of materials inbound and outbound on the stock product will always be safe and secured to the damage and expiration. Siyempre, kailangan ng safety ng isang materials mo. Halimbawa, ang materials mo is, ang business mo is nagluluto. So, bago ka bumili ng materials mo, titignan mo muna kung hanggang saan ang expiration niya. Kailangan yung damage ng ginagamit mo, kailangan din i-check. Next is identification. With materials management, confusion of orders and procurement will be licensed. So, kailangan ng identification din. Next, nandito ang classification ng materials. Classification ng materials, meron tayong sinasabing, meron dalawang klase siya. Meron direct and indirect. So, the term material refers to all commodities which are consumed in the production process. Their classification as direct materials. Pag sinabi natin direct materials, ito yung direct na ginagamit mo sa isang ingredients. Halimbawa, nagbe-bake ka. So, yung sinabing direct materials, yung dinadirect mo doon sa niluluto mo. Example, egg, flour, sugar, oil. Yun yung sinasabing direct materials. Pag sinabi naman natin indirect materials, dito papasok yung cleaning supplies, disposable, safety equipment, disposable tools, fittings, and fastener, glue, and yun. So, makikita natin dito yung raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods. So, example, bago mo matapos yung finished product ng tinapay, so kailangan mo ng raw materials. So, ano ba mga ingredients ng ano bang ingredients ng bread? So, yun yung tinatawag na raw materials. Work in progress, doon napapasok yung paghahalo-haluin mo ng ingredients mo. Tapos, doon napapasok ang finished goods or finished product mo. Next is Raw materials. So, ano nga ba ang raw materials? Are input goods intended for combination and or conversion through the manufacturing process into semi-finished or finished good. So, yun. May dalawang ori nga ang raw materials. Next is components and good parts. Pag sinabi natin components and parts, just as raw materials are converted to finished goods, a manufacturing operation. Components and parts are assembled into the finished goods in an assembly operation. So, dito, papasok yung, ko-convert mo yung finished product mo, yung ginawa mong product. Next is maintenance, repair, and operating inventories. MRO. So, ano nga ba ibig sabihin ito? This included parts, supplies, and materials used in or consumed by routine maintenance and repair of operating equipment or in support of operation. So, dito kailangan sa mga materials mo, meron kang tinatawag na maintenance or repair operating. Kasi, hindi naman lagi siyang ayos. So, kailangan may magre-repair talaga. Kung pag nakita mong sira, so, need siyang i-repair. So, next is work in the processed goods. This includes goods in the process of manufacturing and only partial completed. So, ayan, work in process goods. So, maayos yung pagkakagawa. Next is finished goods. This represent the completed conversion of raw materials into the final product. So, ayan, dito na papasok yung finished product mo. So, dito, kung maayos yung mga raw materials mo, maayos yung pagkakagawa, magkakaroon ka ng good quality ng product mo. So, ayan. Next, resale goods. Pag sinabi naman natin resale goods, these are goods acquired for resale. Such goods may be pursued by a wholesaler for resale distributors or by distributors for a reseller to consumer, etc. Next is capital goods. Pag sinabi natin capital goods, these are items such as equipment that are not used for consume during a single operating period but have extended useful lives and must be utilized over multiple operation periods. Next is construction materials. These are raw materials or components for construction projects such as building, bridge, and etc. So, pag sinabi naman natin construction materials, syempre, construction, the word of construction, alam naman natin yon. So, dito papasok yung mga building projects, ganun. Malalaki yung product. Next is hard goods and soft goods. Hard goods and soft goods will vary depending on the industry involved. Also, pag sinabi natin hard goods o soft goods, depende na lang sa industry na o sa isang product na gagawin mo. Next is foil and imbricants. Foil and imbricants are used for the oiling purpose for the equipment used in the process, which again varies with the type of industry. Next is stationery goods. Include writing material like paper, pen, ink, etc. which used in the people involved in the process. So, dito naman papasok yung mga paper na ginagamit natin. Next is primary packing material. Packing material like plastic, etc. So, pag sinabi natin primary packing material, example dito yung mga plastic na ginagamit, yung pang-pack natin. Next. Dito meron din scope of materials management. Una is material planning, installation, procurement, operating, quality control, packaging, storage, distribution. Wait. May mali ata ako. So, next is material planning. Pag sinabi natin material planning is derived from overall organizational planning and is always a plan of the board organization plan. So, kailangan talaga, hindi pwedeng kuha ka ng isang material mo, kailangan ay mayroon kang planning. So, may dalawang uri siya. Una is macro, ang pangalawa is micro. Ano ba ang pinagkaiba ng dalawa? Sa macro, mayroon sinasabi dito is global factors such as price, trends, business cycles, governments, import and export policies, etc. are called macro factors. So, pag sinabing macro, pangkalahatan. So, hindi lang dito sa Pinas or overall talaga siya, pang global. Nag-e-export siya, tapos nag-i-import ng materials. Pag sinabi naman natin micro, these are essentially the factors existing with the organization such as corporate policy of inventory holding, production plan, investment, etc. For any organization, factors as a lead time of procurement, acceptable inventory levels, working capital, seasonality, delegation of power are micro factors. So, ayun nga, ang pinagkaiba ng macro sa micro. Yung micro, it is papasok yung working capital, seasonality, delegation of power. Yun yung micro. Pag sinabi namang macro is nag-i-import tsaka nag-i-export ng materials. Tapos pangkalatan siya. Ang micro naman is pang-organization lang siya. Next. Pag sinabi naman natin standardization means formulation, publication, and implementation of guidelines, rules, and specification for common and repeated use, aim at achieving a optimum degree of order or uniformity in a given context, discipline, or field. Pag sinabi natin standardization, dito papasok yung guidelines and rules. Yun lang naman ang pinaka-keyword niya. Standard. So, may standard yung materials mo. So, performance specification. Conform to know customer requirements such as keeping a room's temperature with a specified range. Next is technical specification. Express the level of performance of the goods, service, or any process of the business. Next is procurement and purchasing. Means prosecution. It includes the complete process of obtaining goods and service from preparation and processing of consecution, receipt, or approval of the invoice payment. Next is quality control. Pag sinabi naman natin quality control, it encompasses activities employ the detection and measurement of the variability and the characteristic of output, attribute to the production system, and included corrective response. In quality control, the rule of inspection is to verify and validate the variance data. Pag sinabi natin quality control, dito papasok yung corrective response. Yung quality control din is papasok din dito yung inspection of the verity, validate of variance. Next is packaging. Pag sinabi naman natin packaging, alam naman natin is the word of packaging. It includes process such as cleaning, drying, and serving materials such as glass, metal, paper, or paperboard, plastic employed to contain, handle, protect, and transfer in an article. Packaging, ginagamit mo sa isang finished product mo. Ipapackage mo siya. Example, yung braid mo, so kailangan ng package, yun. Next is storage. Storage means transitory, semi-permanent, containment, holding, or placement of goods or materials, usually with the intention of the retrieving team at a later time. So, pinaka-importante yung storage, lalo na kung ang product mo is pagkain. May temperature na dapat sinusunod. Kasi kung hindi mo siya susundin, may posibilidad na masira. Kaya may tinatawag na storage. Next is distribution. Means movement of the goods and service from the source through the distribution channel right up to the final consumer, or user. So, dito papasok yung goods and services ng mga sa final consumer, or user na gagamit. Next is material handling. Pag sinabi naman natin material handling, tapos na tayo sa material management. Sa material handling naman tayo. At the sufficient short distance, movement of the goods usually takes place with the confines of the building such a plant or warehouse or between building and the transportation agency. So, bakit nga ba kailangan natin pag-aralan ng material handling? Kasi may mga material na pag mali yung hawak natin, may posibilidad na madisgrasya or napaka-dangerous niya. May mga material na kung titingnan mo, napakasimple lang niya. Pero pag hindi mo siya nahawakan na maayos, maaaring ikapahamak mo. So, kaya pinag-aaralan ang material handling. Hindi pwedeng hawakan lang ng hawak. Next is types of material handling. So, may type siya. Next is manual handling. Refers to the use of workers' hands to move individually containers by lifting, lowering, filling, and emptying, and carrying them. So, pag sinabing manual handling, dun yung hahawakan mo yung kamay. Bubuhatin. Next is automated. It is a form handling of material that uses automated machine and robotics. So, kailangan may mga materials na ganyan yung hawak kasi ang nasa loob is napaka-importante. Bawal siya malaglag or bawal mabagsak. So, kailangan ingatan. Next is the material handling equipment. Material handling equipment, MHA, is used for the movement, storage, protection, consumption, and disposal of material within a facility or at a site. To properly utilize the performance and the assets of the company. There are things considered from the purchasing, physical facilities, especially and the material handling and storage equipment. Next Example of operation. Before purchasing of any machine or equipment, purchasing officer should always mind the easy of operation that what to be purchased. It should be easy to operate and it should always lessen the fatigue to the operation to have good result. Next is flexibility. The machine must have flexibility to adapt or multiply purpose when the cost of the machine is high. So, kailangan maging flexibility ka. Next is durability. Pag sinabi naman natin durability is the machine must be strong and durable. Breakdown of the machine means investment is waste. So, may mga machine talaga na durability. Next is portability. The size of the machine is reduced into portable size. Benefit. Manual labor is replaced by a machine, greater accuracy and better result must be produced. So, may mga benefit din talaga siya. Next is ang service niya. If purchasing a machine equipment, the company should always check if that item has after-sales service. Quick repairs and proper maintenance are essentially for continuous performance of the machines. So, kailangan may service ka para i-check yung equipment or yung machine. Operating cost. The working capital is one of the most essential assets of the company to continue operation machines and equipment that has a low operating cost will save and the company's working capital. So, pag sinabi naman natin operating cost, so dito papasok yung capital. Kung tataas ba siya or magulo or i-increase ba pagdating sa mga equipment mo. Next is style. The design of the machine equipment should be attractive since it creates market and credibility to the business. So, syempre, kung gagawa ka naman ng materials or equipment or ng machine, hindi pwedeng walang buhay. So, kailangan mo lagyan din ng style para maging kaaya-aya tingnan or maa-attract. Lalo na ngayon, yung mga sa panahon ngayon, maraming maa-arte na or minsan ginagawa nila, akala mo hindi siya machine, so akala mo design lang. So, para ma-attract din, hindi lang yung ikaw nagagamit, kundi yung mga consumer mo din. Next is suppliers. When purchasing such a machine and equipment, business should always give priority to the supplier. Siyempre, kapag may supplier ka, priority mo na yun. Huwag mo nang bibitawan. Next is cost. Generally, when the cost increases, the performance will be better. Cost of the machine is comparable in terms of savings in a labor, low cost of repair and maintenance, etc. Next is material handling equipment. Dito naman papasok ang material handling equipment. As classified into four, these are the transport equipment, positioning equipment, unit load formation equipment, storage equipment, and the identification and control equipment. Yan. Example ng equipment is transport equipment. Conveyors equipment used to move materials over the fixed path between specific points. Conveyors can move materials within the facility and also for loading of goods to its transportation docks. Ayan for example ng mga equipment. Next is cranes. Equipment used to move materials over variable paths with a restricted area. It is mainly used for lifting heavy things and transportation them to the other place. The device used or one or more simplified machines to create mechanical advantages to those move loads beyond the normal capability of a human. Ito naman ang example ng industrial truck. So, makikita natin siya sa mga gumagawa ng belting. Used to move material over variable horizontal paths without restriction of the area cover. Types of forklift. Ating example ng forklift. Ito is usually electric powered industry trucks. It is used for all racks for loading and unloading pallets. Reach trucks are usually placed at a strategic location inside the warehouse. Ito naman yung wild forklift. Ginagamit siya indoors, warehouse, or smooth. Use maneuverability and space. Electric powered siya. So, saksak. Next is wild fork well naman. Its powerful house is electric powered and gasoline. More stable than 3 walls forklift usually used in outdoors. Unit load information equipment. It uses restrict materials so that they maintain their integrity when handled during transport or for storage. Example dito yung pallets and pallets box. Next is, ito yung pallets. As a flat transport constructor that supports goods in a stable fashion while being lifted by a forklift, pallets have entry numbers. Some pallets have two-way and most common is the four-way pallets and the four-entry point of the workflow. Yan siya. At yung box, mas madalas ito ginagamit. Reusable container use, utilize to protect closed items or for platform truck handling. Storage equipment. It used for handling or buffering materials. Over a period of time, it represents a storage between minimizing handling cost by making material easily accessible and maximizing utilization of space. For example, drive truck, drive-in rack, flow-through rack, push-back rack. Next, drive rack. Pag sinabi natin drive-through rack is designed for a first time in, first out. Management's racking system is used to products that are fast-moving delivered with a mass production. So, mas mabilis. Pag sinabi naman natin drive rack, it is designed as last in and first out. So, magkaiba ng isa. Ito naman is flow-through rack. If flow storage consists of two elements, is the static rack structure and dynamic flow rails. Ito naman ang push-back rack. Pag sinabi natin push-back rack, as pallet is loaded from the front. It is pushed, the pallet is behind the back. So, one position in the front pallet is removed when unloading. The rear pallets automatically come forward to the front packing position. So, pinatulak siya. That's all. Thank you so much.